Sean had to go in for a penis reduction. He's just too big that he had to go in and they had to shrink his penis. Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears for the Beat the Best podcast. It's us again, back. We don't give up. We just keep going. There's 65 of us now, by the way, Sean. Did you know this? We have 65 subscribers now, and
right.
Our videos are getting in the hundreds. At least 100 people are listening to us now, you know.
That is awesome.
Yeah, you know.
65, that's great, man. I think last time we checked, we were in the 40s, so that's a good sign.
It's great because
it's a great sign.
Online we get so lost in these big numbers, like, oh, they have 1 million followers. That's great. If 100 people showed up to your house right now to listen to what you have to say, you'd be like, damn, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely. That's incredible. So thank you guys, the 65 that are out there.
Thank you for joining us. Sean, I'm glad you're feeling better. I think you wanted to share something that your health was somewhat affected. Guys, Sean had to go in for a penis reduction. He's just too big that he had to go in and they had to shrink his penis, which is
ladies and gentlemen, please do not listen to the foolishness of Mr. Baby.
They had to shrink it, Sean. I can't imagine how. I mean, my lobster's too juicy and my steak's too juicy, my lobster's too buttery. You know, if you're living that type of lifestyle and you have to go to a doctor for that, I'm sorry.
Oh my God! Please don't listen to him. I had a what we call it's an umbilical or ventral hernia. So I had that fixed because you really don't know how much you use your stomach muscles until you have to have surgery to fix something like that. And most people know what a hernia is, but it's basically, in a nutshell, your intestines are poking through your abdominal wall when you have an umbilical hernia. And so that's what I had, and it was kind of affecting me. So I had the surgery, and so I'm recovering. Outside of, feeling like I've done like 1,000 crunches the last 2 days, I'm good. So I'm pretty good. It's just, but anything you do, just trying to get up out of your seat, even pushing yourself up, you can feel your stomach muscles being used. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I don't suggest you get one of these. And then, just even right there, just that little laugh I did, little pain there. So, if I'm not as animated, chalk it to my health, but I'm here, no pain, no gain. My shirt says pain. If you can see that, Mr. T. So we're good. We're here though. We're not going anywhere.
I thought it was a penis reduction surgery. That's my fault. I am glad you're okay though. All jokes aside, I actually checked on you, and you got to check on your friends. Sean, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. On the back of Duncan Robinson sharing some really personal information about his brother's suicide attempt and the things that happened, man. We really have to wrap our hands around mental health, especially as Black men. I'm not saying that if you're not Black or you're a woman, you don't need mental health. I'm saying there is a stigma attached to it for Black men who seek mental health. Do you know what I'm saying, Sean? Like, oh, you crazy? You got to go talk to a therapist. That's just what it is in the community, and we got to stop with that, I think.
I totally agree. I mean, we as men in general, not just Black men, I maybe even more so for Black men, we carry a lot of burden. There's a lot of things that we're doing. We're trying to take care of our families, take care of ourselves. In today's climate, there's a lot of things that are a lot of forces, I would say, are pulling against us. So a lot of things on our mind, just trying to and just trying to keep ourselves together and take care of ourselves and our loved ones. So the most important thing is, check in on yourself. Ask yourself if you're okay. Sometimes you're not going to be okay, and if you're not, figure out what you need to do to be okay. If you need to talk to somebody, or if you need to pray, if you believe in God, whatever it is, do it. Make sure it's done. And then the second part of that is check in on your people. I mean, Saif and I regularly, all jokes aside, we regularly check in on each other. We have things that we have going on. Just life, life be lifing, as people say. And so we always check in on each other like that. So definitely have someone around you that can help you with that. and like I said, check on yourself. Prioritize yourself,
Yeah, I would
man.
also add
It's
to that,
important.
Sean, and say, don't be afraid to reach out to your closest friend group. I know about 10 months ago, I was going through it, one of the worst times in my life. Excuse me, man, it's tough. It's tough to get through it. And I reached out to my friends, you, Tutu, Kate, Steph, to really help hold me down, because it can be really hard. Things can get real dark real quick when your life's turned sideways, especially when
Mm.
unexpected events happen, breakups, family members, health, all of those things. So don't be afraid to reach out to your friends and be like, yo, I'm struggling. Because your friends will, if they're real friends, they'll hold you down. So,
Right.
I mean, Sean, I don't know where I'd be without you, bro. You know?
Man, likewise, like I said, we talk regularly, and so it's not just sports. We talk about life and what we're going through, and like I said, life's not easy,
Yeah.
man, especially in today's climate and what we got going on. So I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you allowing me to go on this journey with you, and we'll keep moving, man. We'll keep encouraging each other, and we'll also keep cracking jokes too,
It often
because laughter
it often
often
helps.
helps. It,
And
it
and
it
we and
does.
we
It really
we
does.
really got to distance ourselves from the stigma of mental health. Um, Full disclosure, I was with a therapist for
True.
10 months, and I cannot explain the level of help that I have gotten into navigating tough decisions and a new life that I'm living. And guys, the worst, I've said this before, Sean, the worst thing a therapist can do for you is listen. That's the worst thing, right? A good therapist will give you help and point you in the right direction. A bad therapist will at least have someone to listen to your problems, because you have to pay someone for that. Usually, you can't just trauma dump on a non-professional, and be careful, using
Right.
ChatGPT as a mental health resource, because those models still are trying to tell you what you want to hear. So that isn't always safe. It's best to reach out to a human being for those things. Yeah. So, guys,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
the playoffs are here, Sean. The playoffs are here. We've had a heck of a
Yes, they
week,
are.
man. I've kind of seen it as a new guard takeover. It's a new day in the NBA, guys. We have Juan, who's going to be joining us here shortly, Magnum, and to talk about this with us, how things are really rapidly changing in the league. Uh, the Steph Curry and LeBron days of domination, even though LeBron is hanging on like a forerunner. I said this in a post. He's just the
Goodness.
2006 forerunner. He just keeps going. Uh,
But what did we say? He's
he's
like
the
the
iPhone
iPhone
7.
7. Is that what we said?
iPhone 7.
What was it? iPhone
The
6 or
iPhone
7? He's
7.
iPhone
iPhone 7.
7.
So let's get Juan in here, and we'll see you guys after the break. There he is, Magnum, here to join us to talk
Yes,
about
sir.
this new day for the NBA Takeover. Magnum, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. I mean, had a good week. Watched the Michael Jackson movie. Watched the Devil Wears Prada 2. It was great. Good
Oh,
experience.
you saw them both?
Oh
Don't
yeah.
don't do not ruin
I
a
won't.
thing
I
for
won't.
me,
Nice.
sir. Just tell me if you liked them both or not. Did you like
Yes.
Michael? Did you like Devil Wears Prada?
Yes. Both. Yes to
Okay,
both.
that's all I want to hear. Don't want to hear any spoilers. I'm trying to go see it
Nice.
today and not lose my mind. Juan, we're going to let you lead off, sir. You are the stat man. Juan, we have a changing of the guards here for today's NBA. We're used to a Steph Curry and LeBron led NBA playoff. The last few years have not ended up that way. LeBron is defying all statistical anomalies and still being at the top of his game. What do you think is happening? Are we sunsetting the Steph and LeBron era, and are we welcoming in a new generation of players who outperform in the playoffs?
I believe we're going through a transition. We are starting to see the SGA Wemby era, what looks to begin similar to like the Kobe Tim Duncan era, where they were just trading championships between the Spurs and the Lakers. And I think we are slowly saying maybe goodbye to that, LeBron versus Steph Curry, where they were going to the finals, battling each other every year.
Yeah.
And
How many
this
years?
is where it's
It's like
going.
7 years, right? Something like that.
Yeah, yeah. And them were battling about 3 finals in a row. And then part of that story was Kevin Durant. So, so there was a lot there. So I mean, it was definitely entertaining for that about 7, 8 to 10 years.
Yep.
of what LeBron did and then what Steph was able to accomplish as well.
Yeah. What are you thinking, Sean? I mean, we've got some huge changes coming to Juan's point, the Steph and LeBron era, which we were spoiled. We can say we were spoiled every year in the finals to see games of that nature. And now it's Steph isn't even in the playoffs. LeBron, the Lakers, they're going to go second, Western Conference final at best. They're not going to win a championship this year, but they've been competitive. Are we okay in looking for new stars to outperform in the playoffs?
Absolutely. I think we're absolutely okay with it. I mean, that's what we want to see. Me growing up in the '80s, like I said, it was Magic and Bird, and then all of a sudden we get this young kid out of North Carolina, and so we get Michael Jordan, and so that changes, and then all the players that came with him. So we're absolutely okay with it. It's the changing of the guard. I absolutely love it. You alluded earlier. We talked about Wemby and SGA. Their time is apparently it's now, but you still got Joker. He's in the mix. He's not in the playoffs anymore, but he'll still be around. We'll still be talking about him. Anthony Edwards, he's hurt right now, but he's hopefully he can get back to get into this playoff run. You're talking about Luka.
Yeah,
Another guy. He's hurt. And then we still got some guys that may be considered old heads. I mean, there's one guy in particular.
We forgot about Kyrie
Irving. I can't wait to see him come back.
He's been MIA.
Kyrie's still relatively young. Yeah. So I'm excited to see this new iteration of stars. You got Cooper Flag. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very excited. I know he's going to make some playoff noise here pretty soon, if not next year, definitely the year after. So it's time. We, like I said, as much as we love Steph Curry and as much as we love LeBron James, as much as we love or hate KD.
Best bus rider in the history of the NBA
for the new guards.
Kevin Durant.
Hey man, listen. I tried to argue against it, but I can't. He is definitely a bus rider.
He sure
borrowed
did.
the
Juan,
keys for those two
if this were
championships.
1860, Kevin Durant would own a pirate ship. He'd be a privateer, just knocking off other people's loot, running from boat to boat.
It worked.
It
worked.
Man.
It did work. It did work.
It did.
We saw Philly do what is one of the hardest things in the NBA. Hold your happiness. Hold your happiness. One of the hardest things in the NBA in beating Boston at home in a Game 7. Okay, Juan, we're going to lead you off with this. I was absolutely stunned watching Philadelphia go into Beantown and rev up those twin engines of a backcourt they have in VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey, and then jump on the plane with Joel Embiid to give the Celtics fits. I do think the Sixers can beat the New York Knicks in the next round. Juan, you have the floor, sir. Tell me what you thought about that game and these 76ers and their young talent.
The realm of possibility that the 76ers could beat the Knicks will go at that a little later. But
yeah,
at halftime, when the 76ers had taken the lead, I was very convinced that the 76ers could pull this off. And even when they had gotten to a huge lead in the third and basically gave that up, it starts and ends with Joel Embiid. He made all the big shots down the floor. And then what killed the Celtics, they live and die by the three, 0 for 9 in the last 5 minutes of the game, and that's what eventually did him in. But I'll tell you what, I was, as a Laker fan, please, man, if I could have popped another bottle of champagne, I would have. Because, man, please. The Celtics, trust me, I will never shed a tear for you guys. It's just the way it is as a Laker fan. But the 76ers being healthy and complete with that lineup, the Knicks are not going to have an easy time with the 76ers this time around.
Easy. I think that series is going 7 games for sure.
I agree. Yes.
Let me go back to one thing you said earlier before I jump to you, Sean. The Celtics do play this way. Now, them missing all of those threes is part and parcel to their style of play. They get up a lot of threes. The Celtics pattern themselves after the Golden State Warriors championship run and get a lot of threes up to try to win games. It didn't win against Philadelphia because you and I both know when you need threes, sometimes they don't go down. That's why you can't depend on them all the time. Not everyone's Steph Curry. Sean, what did you think about this, about Philadelphia going into Boston and going nuts?
You know what? It's crazy. I'm watching the game, and I'm like you, Juan, with big time Laker fans, and so the only thing better that might be better than the Lakers winning is the Celtics losing. So the feeling of that. So in watching the game, though, I'm serious. In watching the game, I just the tone of it, the way the Sixers came out, they had a really great start, and but I was watching the Celtics, and you and I talk all the time, Saif, that the Celtics shoot way too many threes. They live and die by that. When they're making threes, it's incredible to watch. But they were missing a lot of the shots that they were taking, and it didn't help that Tatum was out. I think if Tatum plays, maybe
Pause you
we're
right
having
there,
a
Sean. I
different
want to pause you
conversation.
right there.
But I still think
This
yeah, sure,
this may not go across
sure.
well. I had a problem with Tatum being out. I did. And I don't know his injury. He could have very well been hobbled and was unable to play. I felt like if it were me, I would have had to be on my deathbed to not at least suit up for a game 7 and try to warm up or try to do something. Even if I'm in uniform, I want to do something. We saw Willis Reed go out with a bum leg and give you something. I didn't, Sean, I didn't like that he didn't even suit up to try to play.
Here's the problem with that. We remember last year, he's in a heavy contested game, highly contested game with the New York Knicks. He pops his Achilles. So now you're in a game 7, highly contested, very high energy, and now you've got a nagging knee injury. You know what I mean? So you're like, okay, do I risk a torn ACL and I'm out a whole nother year to try to come back and play again? This is my thing. And when players have injuries and they try to come back after a year's time, I don't agree with it. I don't think he should have played in the first place. I think he should have sat out in the first place, just not even played in in the season and in the playoffs. Even though he was healthy, just take a whole year off, because I think what happens is there's overcompensation. His Achilles healed. He looked pretty sharp for early on in the first few games he's played, but mentally you're going to overcompensate, not even knowing. Because you're like,
Sean,
I don't want to hurt this leg.
I get
again.
that. I get
So you're
that.
gonna put
Juan,
Go ahead.
how did you feel about Tatum being out? I want to know what your thoughts. If he should have been on the floor, suited up, tried something, or am I just an old school hardhead?
Well, it was definitely a business decision, but there has to be medical staff that probably suggested, you know what, you could do it, but you might be at risk. And he probably listened to the coaching staff and the medical team. But I have to believe that the Boston Celtics were confident enough that they could win the game without him. If let's say if Derek White makes a couple of those threes, if Pritchard makes a couple of those threes, what are we talking about? That's why.
Juan, if Heat was the 5th, we'd all be drunk. We can't live
You're
with
right.
ifs.
I agree.
They did,
but they had a 3-1 lead. They had a 3-1 lead.
Very true.
So what do we?
They did.
They
have
should
a
have maybe
3-1 lead.
Yeah. Could they have closed it out in 5? They could have closed it out in 5.
One game.
So I don't know. They put themselves in that predicament, and as soon as Joel Embiid looked the way he used to look, I thought they were in trouble. I thought that was the difference of the series.
Well, Sean, Juan is preaching right now. When Embiid came back, we all thought, his appendix is out. He's going to be a mess. He looked way better than anticipated, right? And I don't think people expected Joel Embiid to play that well. And I don't think people expected Edgecombe and Maxey to be this formidable in the backcourt. They are probably 2 of the fastest guys in the backcourt I've ever seen.
And it's incredible to watch. And I think, to your point about Embiid, we didn't think he was going to look that good playing, but I think he figured out how to fit in. Because watching them play, before it was like, man, these 2 guys, Maxey and VJ, they're the future. You got to let them cook, and Joel has to be the third option. He's got to figure it out. Well, I think these last 2 games, he figured out how to fit in and not take away from their, Maxey and Edgecombe's effectiveness. And also you got Paul George in there. Paul George is not we've seen Paul George fail in the past and not be the best version as the number 1 or number 2 option. Now he's 3 or 4, so I think it's better suited. And now that he's older as well, so I think they found the right mix. And to your point, Juan, it's not or Saif, it's not going to be easy for the Knicks to beat that team because they're clicking right now. Maxey's all-time high in confidence, the 20-year-old rookie VJ, and then you got Joel Embiid, who seems to have found a way to fit in with this. They look all of a sudden. They look a little dangerous coming out of the East, the 76ers.
Do they look dangerous?
I don't have a problem with.
Very dangerous. Look, Joel Embiid gave you 25 and 10 in Game 7. If he does that against the Knicks, against Cat, they're in trouble. And Brunson, you better be ready because if he's got to be on Maxey or on VJ, VJ is a star in the making, man. This kid is something, man. This kid
is something special, right? Like I'm pretty good at the eye test, and I'm looking at VJ. I'm going, he's way ahead of where he should be on the rookie level, right, Juan? I mean, this kid is not only fast, he's strong, he listens, he's coachable, he plays hard, he gets rebounds, he passes the ball. When you watch,
he is only going to get better. So if Philadelphia could keep this team intact, depending on Embiid's health, I think this starts and ends with Embiid. The 76ers could be trouble in the East. Now, we still have to wait to see what the rest of these teams do. And, to me, the second round of these playoffs are going to be the real good matchup, considering the Cavs and the Pistons also join the party, but we'll see. And then in the West, I just like those matchups, dude. These are going to be very hard-fought series, all four of them moving forward.
Agree with you. I am fully expecting the Cavs to pull a James Harden and not win a Game 7 as of today, Sunday. I'm expecting them to lose. Somehow, if the Cavs win, it'll be because Toronto gave them the game. It won't be because James Harden did something special.
But what if Harden gives you 30 and 10?
That's the what if that I don't ever have to worry about. It's like saying, what if I grow pig hooves? It's not possible. Sean, you wanted to say something.
Oh, wow. No, I mean, just laughing at your disdain for Mr. James Harden, but he's proven himself time and time again in Game 7s or pivotal games in the playoffs that he's just not a big time performer. So we'll see if he does something different. Hey, we'll all be surprised. But I got my eyes, and the game's going on right now. But I got my eyes on that Pistons Orlando Magic Game 7. I'm tuning into that. That's been an interesting series. I think Detroit's going to come out on top, and I'd like to see them, come out on top. And then because I really got them coming out of the East. I think they're probably the most complete team, but they've showed some chinks in their armor. Yeah. Jalen Duren hasn't been playing well, and he's a big catalyst for what they do. But Cade Cunningham is him. He's that dude, so he's been playing well. So we'll see. It's been real interesting playoffs, like things that aren't supposed to happen
left and right
are happening. Like at the beginning of these playoffs, I'm gonna lay it out for you. At the beginning of these playoffs, if you would have said, okay, the Lakers are gonna get past Houston in the first round, the Pistons are gonna go to a Game 7 against Orlando Magic, and the Celtics and the Nuggets will get put out in the first round. If I would have told you those things, you would have thought I was smoking crack rocks mixed with fentanyl. So, you know what I mean? If I'd have said that to you at the beginning of these playoffs, you'd have been like, man, my guy, listen, my guy Sean needs some mental health help. He needs a therapist because this is crazy. But here we are. And the Pistons, got to fight for their lives today. So, strange playoffs, but
I think the winner of these playoffs so far has been Las Vegas. To Sean's point, yeah. I think the casinos cleaned up. I know the casinos cleaned up on the Boston series because nobody takes Boston at Boston to lose a Game 7.
I actually took the 76ers at the half. When they were winning, I said, I could put some money on
You said at the half. You said at the half.
At the half. When they were winning, I said, let me look at them in the first half. If they look good, I said, okay, I'm winning.
And no one took the – by the way, if you bet 76ers to come back and win the series when they're down 3-1, congratulations, you're a genius, and you're probably 8-1, 10-1, 20-1 on your money. But things
did anybody have the Pistons
right.
down 20 at the half against Orlando?
And to come back, oh my God.
And to come back and dominate them? They had a 7% chance of winning that game at the point at the half. They're down by 24.
They were probably 50-1 or 40-1 at the half or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. You could have put down $100, won $1,000.
Easily.
To win $1,000, easy. right? So to Sean's point, so many of these things that are
Yep.
happening are unusual. We're going to see Spurs versus Minnesota. I told Sean I think it's going to be a sweep. I think the Spurs are going to sweep Minnesota. Juan, do you think do you think Minnesota has any chance against the Spurs without their star?
That's going to be tough. I have the Spurs in 5. I'll give Minnesota 1. Let's say they just come out like gangbusters. They're hitting all their shots and they surprise them. They can get 1. But the Spurs, no different from what I saw in the Portland series. I thought even without Wemby, they just look better. And some other parts are legit. And I expect the Spurs to clean up and do well against the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah, you know what's really interesting about these things is, the topic of this podcast is, a changing of the guards. We're seeing Steph's not the playoffs. KD barely, I think he played one game.
He did. One game.
According to injury.
Played one game in that
And
series. Yeah.
LeBron is he's the status quo for longevity. He's the only person from that time and space that is still making an impact. Sean, you bleed purple and gold. What do you think about LeBron's ability he got them out of the first round and he still has his fingerprints all over this Laker organization?
LeBron is the guy's amazing, man. He's seen everything in the playoffs that you can think of, all the matchups, everything that they're trying to do. And I think with this squad, even more so than past squads, Laker squads that he's been on, maybe outside of the championship team in 2020, I think he trusts these guys and he understands his role on the team. He understands that he can't be the superstar in every moment, but there are moments where he can pick and choose and he can go and do it. And that's what he did in that Houston series. Like literally, I think the game 3 where they were down 6 with 30 seconds and then they won that game, I think that took a lot out of him. And I think you saw everybody was scared. Those next 2 games, game 4 and game 5, LeBron didn't look the same. And it's like, oh, father time. And then all of a sudden you get game 6 on the road and you get the active LeBron. And it's just basically he needed his body to heal up. But he still show you that he can control a game and go out and give you 28, 7, and 7 and control every aspect of the game. So it's phenomenal to watch. And I think he can do it against OKC. I don't think he can win the series. As a Laker fan, it's hard for me to say that, but I'm a realist. I think they can get a game, maybe 2. I don't think they're going to get swept. And for me, that would be a win against the OKC is obviously the best team in the league outside of the Spurs, maybe. Yeah, if they win a game or 2 in that series and LeBron shows up, that'll really just add to his legacy because nobody's thinking they're going to do. I think everybody's thinking OKC's going to sweep them.
I think LeBron doesn't have anything else to add to his legacy. I think what he's done in this playoffs is enough for him to take a horse all the way into the sunset. One, I don't think LeBron plans on retiring. I think he's going to give it another go. According to LeBron's ego, I think he wants to let everyone know when he does retire prior. I don't see him pulling a private retirement like a Dirk would or a Tim Duncan would. What do you think, Juan? What do you think about LeBron being just top of the food chain still? He's still someone to be dealt with on the court.
Well, like you said, he has nothing to prove, but I think he's got a few more years in him if he wants. What he was able to accomplish at Game 6, everybody thought we were going to go to a Game 7, and then he probably heard the noise and say, well, watch this. 41-year-old man scoring 28, 7, and 7. And, him and Father Time are like right here. They're just like right there. And he's willing to be at pace with Father Time. And I think he's searching for that 5th ring. He's trying to catch Kobe. He wants to get closer to Jordan 6. I don't know. He's still motivated. He's still motivated. And I think that he sometimes could pull a virtuoso by himself and give you a great game, but he's not going to be able to do that all the time. That's why I think it's imperative if in some miracle Luka is even back in this series, he won't be 100%, but I doubt it, that, I just don't think they have enough to get past OKC. But as far as the future of the Lakers, I think he's going to stick it out. He wants to get that 5th ring, and he'll try to put himself in position to try to do that.
Okay, guys, we're approaching the tape here. It's time for some bold predictions, so someone can tell us we're stupid online. I just love how all the people are just so bold. Just so many people have never got socked in the face in real life, but that's a whole nother topic. Sean, we are looking at the finals. Who do you see in the finals? What two teams? Not the champions. Who do you see in the finals? It's a tough question now. It used to be an easier question.
And it's a really tough question. It's really tough. So out of the East, I'll go with the East. That's my easy prediction. If the Pistons win today, I still got the Pistons coming out of the East. I still think they're the team to beat. They are the number one seed. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, even though they had a weird series here with Orlando. If they don't win, I think it's a toss-up between New York
you need to give me
and
something,
Philly.
buddy.
I can't.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to stick with the Pistons. I'm going Pistons coming out of the East. That's me. But of course, if they win. On the West, you've alluded to this before, Saif. It's the championship is OKC.
That's going to be a series.
That Western Conference Finals. That's the championship. I'm leaning towards OKC. I'll lean towards the defending champs.
So your
because they're
matchup is give me the two
champs, and I'll
teams.
give them the benefit of the doubt.
OKC versus
OKC,
Detroit. Juan, who do you
Detroit.
got?
I have the same thing because in the beginning of the season, actually 3/4 of the season, I actually put my money on the Pistons to win the East. So I have to stick with that. But I'll tell you what, though, moving forward, they are exposed because Cade Cunningham is your true offensive scorer. They need another guy that can help them out. So in the future, they're probably going to need another scorer down the way. But I'm going to stick with the Pistons and their grit and the way they defend and the way they could just try to figure out a way to score to get to 100 while keeping you guys under 100. I like that. And then on the other side, the only reason I'm going OKC is because I think they could achieve somewhat of history being another back-to-back championship team. And then I think in the future we will see a back and forth between the Spurs and the Thunder. But I actually like SGA accomplishing getting back to the final with a chance to repeat. I actually like that.
Okay, so give me your two picks so the trolls can be all over you when you're wrong.
OKC versus the Pistons. OKC winning in 6.
Okay. I'm a person who likes to change his opinion based on new information. I have the Sixers versus the Spurs in the finals.
It's not bad.
That's
I
different.
think the way the Sixers are playing, Joel Embiid stays healthy. Obviously, it's a huge if. He stays healthy. I know they're going to beat the Knicks. I think they're going to be a handful for Detroit because Joel Embiid is so dominant, and you have those two jet engines back there. And I do think the Spurs have OKC's number. I think the Spurs in 6 or 7, and you're going to have an unbelievable NBA Finals that no one expects to see. That's what I think is going to happen. If we get there, then to see who wins, I have no idea. But I do know that I don't think it's going to go like we've supposed because the playoffs haven't so far.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's a good one. I would pay to see that.
I'd watch. Juan,
I'd
would
pay
you
to see
would you
that,
like to see
absolutely. San
that?
Antonio and Philly.
Dude, Wemby versus Embiid? Are you kidding me? I mean, are you kidding me? You're going to get two, maybe not traditional 7-footers. I mean, both of these guys can shoot threes. And so it's like two epic centers 2.0 type of thing. They'd be great.
And I tell you what, I'm taking Wemby in that
Wemby too.
matchup. I'm sorry.
I'm taking Wemby.
I'm taking
The
Wemby
alien versus the
all
process.
way.
The NBA would have a field day with the marketing.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Guys,
Incredible.
another episode in the books for episode 24. If you have friends, share this with them. If you don't have friends, share it with the people who act like they're your friends at work. They won't like it, but they will be pretending to listen to you. For Sean Watkins, for Juan Magnum here with us with his big brain. It's a Beat the Best podcast, and we will see you on the flip side.